How to be the most productive leader you can be. Let's get into it. So productivity absolutely is a mindset, and it's a practice. Like every high performance habit, you can build more productivity because we know there's only 24 hours in a day, and there's only 7 days in a week, and there's only 365 days in a year. So the real question is, as a leader, how are you using your time? This is not about trying to do more with less. You only got what you got. You have 24 hours today. I have 24 hours today. That's it. We're not going to find more time. So we need to be more productive. So how do we be productive with time? You see, some people say I need more time or I don't have enough time. I invite you to stop saying that. Who cares? Yes, you're right. You don't have more time and you won't find more time. Time is set. Does this communicate? So we need to now look at what's the quality of our work inside the time that we all have. What's going to set you apart from other leaders? What's going to make you more efficient? What's going to make you more productive? What's going to have you have more peace of mind to do what really matters for you? So we're going to look at productivity. Productivity is the amount of work that I get done in a certain amount of time, right? What's produced in X period of time. So I want you to think here, first of all, about what there is for you to do each day. We got to start there because this is not about necessarily doing more work. I want you to think leverage. I want you to think efficiency. I want you to think prioritization. So to be highly productive means that I'm very focused on exactly what I'm doing and when I'm doing it and what the outcome of that is designed for. So in other words, if I'm working from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., I know that during that 60-minute block, I'm accomplishing a certain goal or task, and that's by design. I'm not distracted. I'm not being pulled and multitasking. I'm just completing this one aspect of what is important to me that I've set as a priority. So there's a lot in what I just said. Let's unpack it. First, I would have to be clear as a leader. What are my priorities? Many people who are unproductive leaders complain that they have too much to do. None of us have too much to do. We just have what there is to do. The too much is what we add to the world of overwhelm, and that's when we have the experience of overwhelm. So just look at the facts. What is it that you have to accomplish each day to have your business or your accountability or your team work? What are the priorities? The practice I want you to do is to pull out a piece of paper and actually start to write down what are the priorities in my business, my accountability. Okay, what are the reoccurring activities that I know I need to do each day or each week or each month that are at the foundation of my success? What are those things that I have the experience of not getting to that causes me stress, right? Write those down. You can literally get to a point where you've written everything down on a piece of paper or type it out on your computer of what there is for you to be responsible for. Now, once it's out of your head, all bouncing around, and it's out in front of you in reality on the paper, you can start to prioritize. You can then go through that list and circle what are the absolute priorities. A priority is a task or a workflow that if I don't manage successfully will absolutely undermine the success of my accountability or the success of what I'm paid to deliver or the success of the vision to the company, right? So you'll be able to identify that finite list. By finite, I mean it's not everything on your list is a priority. You have to start to get a little ruthless with what you're calling a priority. I'll share with you, I am very clear about my priorities, and no one can mess with me about them. Now, they change over time because this is a fluid process. I list out every week, if not every night, those priorities on that piece of paper I talked to you about, and I thoughtfully look at my day tomorrow and I fill in in my work day that I've distinguished for myself, and I actually look at blocks of time and I say, here's what I'm going to do in these blocks of time. Okay, and what I put into those blocks of time are by design. They are the priorities that move my business forward. Okay, so that is what goes into my calendar. And then tomorrow I will follow my blocks of time, and at the end of the day, my objective is to go to sleep proud of what I accomplished. Because I no longer want to go to sleep worrying about what I didn't do. I don't want to go to sleep anxious about everything that it seems I need to get done in a day. I don't live in that world, but it's only because I use this practice. You need to schedule yourself for your priorities. Everything else that's not a priority, by the way, not a priority. You may or may not get to them. And you can schedule the less prioritized items in a different time if that works for you, and then they're scheduled there. Or they just remain on your list to be maybe moved in to your calendar at some point in the future when and if they become a priority. But you don't have to do everything. You just need to do the right things at the right time to move your business and your leadership and your team forward every day, day by day, week by week. Imagine what will happen over 52 weeks if you live your life, you could say, by design. That if you're intentional about how you're using your time, that equals a breakthrough in productivity. Okay? So the high performance practice here is to examine your relationship to time, examine your relationship to productivity, examine your relationship to the world of overwhelm, and start to sift and sort through it and get real with yourself. Make that list. What are my priorities? Circle the priorities that are really your priorities, because at first glance it may look like everything's a priority, but that one can be done in 2 weeks, that one can be done next month, that one can be done next year. You see, you don't need to get it done tomorrow. What needs to happen tomorrow? What needs to happen today? What needs to happen on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday, and Monday for me to be successful in what I've committed to in life? By the way, this practice works for your family, for your hobbies, for your volunteerism, for whatever's important to you in life. You should have it as a priority in your calendar. And then you honor that time when it shows up in your calendar and you take those actions. And then you will get better also at saying yes and saying no to certain requests that come at you, because you're dealing in reality with what you say you can get done in a certain day. And if somebody then comes and says, hey, can you take this on? Or I need this done. You may find yourself having new conversations, right? Because it doesn't quite fit in what your priorities are. And then you'll need to work it out. And some requests will become a priority for you, and some others will maybe happen in 2 weeks' time. And that may be appropriate instead of it occurring like you have to do it tomorrow. Okay, high performance practice. Examine your life for what are really your priorities. And then make sure that those priorities exist in a block of time in your calendar.